Join Kids Hat family. Hey Tofu, do you want to come with me? I just saw my piggy bank has enough money to buy new books and toys for the children at the orphanage. You can help me buy and distribute the goodies. You are going to give away all your savings to other children? How can you do that? Don't you want to buy something for yourself? Tofu, we can't always think of ourselves. Sometimes we have to help those who do not have the same means as us. Let me tell you a story of kindness. This is a story from a long time ago in Nottingham, England, when Prince Richard ruled the country. His younger brother, Prince John, was a wicked prince who took care of the state while the king was away for wars. Prince John was unkind to common people of Nottingham and had no consideration for the poor. Under his charge, the rich became richer while the poor became poorer. The poor had no savior to save them other than Robin Hood, or the hooded thief as he was popularly known. Robin Hood had a trusted companion called Little John. Robin Hood would rob the rich merchants and the prince's caravans that carried the huge taxes collected from the poor as they crossed the Sherwood Forest, which was the home of Robin Hood, on the way to the prince's treasury. And he would distribute the loot amongst the poor. His generosity earned him the name Prince of Thieves amongst the common people, and also many rewards that were announced by the sheriff for his capture. But this did not stop Robin from doing his good deeds. One day, when Robin Hood and his friends had robbed the prince's caravan again, the prince called the sheriff of Nottingham to the palace. "This is the last time Robin Hood has humiliated my men and me, Sheriff. What are your troops doing? Why haven't they caught that thief as yet?" "We are doing everything, Your Highness. I assure you, we will have him soon." "You should, otherwise someone else will be punished." The sheriff made a new plan with his men. He decided to announce an archery competition to be held in Nottingham, and the winner would be announced as the best archer in Nottingham and also win a kiss from the maiden Marian. One day, Robin Hood's friend Tuck came to visit him.
Have you heard of the archery competition that the sheriff has announced for tomorrow?
Yes, we have, Friar. And the men and I think Robin shouldn't go to it. It is a trap laid by the sheriff. All of England knows that Robin Hood is the best archer by far. Robin doesn't need to go and prove anything there.
You worry too much, Little John. Lighten up. We will go and have some fun tomorrow. And to ensure that no one recognizes us, we'll wear disguises.
And so the next day, Robin Hood and his friends wore disguises and went to the competition. Just as Robin Hood had predicted, no one was able to recognize him. Soon it was Robin Hood's turn to shoot the arrows. He took the first shot at the bird and hit bullseye. The crowd cheered for this unknown archer. Then he took another arrow and shot it again. This one too hit bullseye. The crowd cheered louder. The cheering caught the sheriff's attention, and he turned to see what the matter was. By now, Robin had drawn his third arrow and took a shot. It too hit the bull's eye. When the fourth arrow also did the same, the sheriff realized something.
That is no stranger. That is Robin Hood. No one can shoot 4 arrows in a row like that. Grab him, men!
The whole crowd broke into a frenzy as the sheriff's men arrested Robin Hood.
Off with his head!
But Little John moved like a lightning flash and grabbed the prince and put a knife to his throat.
Release him immediately!
The sheriff's men had no choice except to let go of Robin Hood. The Prince of Thieves and his friends hollered and made their way out of the archery field, but not before Robin Hood climbed the audience tower and stole a kiss from the maiden Marian. Back at the Sherwood Forest, Robin Hood and his friends got together and celebrated.
You were right, Robin Hood. Today was a lot of fun. The sheriff had this coming. I am sure you surprised Maiden Marian too. Well, not as surprised as the prince is going to be when he finds out that we stole 4 bags of gold from his treasury during the sheriff's archery competition. Everybody laughed heartily.
Wow, Tia, this is such an inspirational story about being selfless and helping the helpless. I am going to change my ways from now onwards. I am so proud of you, Tofu. That is such a great decision. Keep doing good deeds. not nice, Tofu. What if your friends find out? They will stop talking to you, won't they?
Oh no! I am so clever, they won't find out ever.
Let me tell you the story of another clever boy called Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer lived with his Aunt Polly and half-brother Sid. He was an extremely clever boy who loved mischief. But Tom also had a very good luck, which always helped him get away with the mischief he did. One day, his Aunt Polly was looking for him. "Tom, Tom, where are you?" She looked everywhere. She looked outside in the yard. Inside in the house and the kitchen. She looked in her room too, but he was nowhere. She went back to his room and called to him. "Tom, stop hiding and come out now." But there was no answer. Suddenly, Aunt Polly saw something move under Tom's bed. She thought it was Tom. She bent down and swiftly pulled the bed cover. A cat that Tom had hidden there sprung out at Aunt Polly. Surprised looking at this, she shouted, "Oh dear! Where did Tom get the cat? Wait till I find that boy!" Just as Aunt Polly was shooing the cat out of the window, she felt someone behind her. It was Tom trying to escape from the room. He had been hiding in the cupboard. Aunt Polly caught him by the collar. "Tom, what were you doing hiding in the cupboard? You ate all the jam, didn't you?"
No, Aunt Polly. I haven't even touched the jam. It must have been Sid.
"Don't you lie to me, young man. I can see the jam all over your face." Tom quickly tried to wipe his face, but it was too late. "Today I am going to beat you with a stick. You have become too mischievous."
Aunt Polly, look behind you.
Aunt Polly turned to see, but there was no one. It was just one of Tom's tricks. And this time he used it to get away from Aunt Polly. Because when she turned around again, he wasn't there. "Oh, this boy! One of these days I am going to punish him." Tom was so happy with himself for fooling Aunt Polly again that he decided to take the day off from school. Instead, he went to the river and bathed in it. At lunchtime, he went into a nearby farm, stole fruits from there, and ran out of there with the owner chasing behind him. Just as he was running, he bumped into Sid. Sid saw Tom's wet hair and clothes and the fruits in his hands and understood that Tom hadn't gone to school, but he didn't say anything. When Tom reached home, Aunt Polly was waiting for him and she was angry. Tom understood that Sid had told her everything. Tom, did you skip school again?
No, Aunt Polly. Sid is lying.
How did you know Sid said anything to me? Well, for once Tom had got himself into trouble. He had no answer for Aunt Polly's question. Tomorrow is Saturday. You don't have school. You will not go anywhere. Instead, you will whitewash the fence.
The entire fence?
Yes, the entire fence. That is your punishment. Tom had no choice. He couldn't argue with Aunt Polly. He didn't want to make her angrier, but he was angry too. The fence would take up his whole Saturday. He went into the yard and kicked at the dust. Just then, he saw Sid coming in. He quickly made a mud ball and swung it at him.
Stop! Help, Aunt Polly! Why did you have to tell anything to Aunt Polly?
Tom flung a few more mud balls at Sid and then jumped over the fence and ran away. He knew he was already punished, so nothing worse could happen now. Next morning, when Tom came down for breakfast, he was greeted with a pail of paint and paintbrushes. Aunt Polly had been serious about his punishment. So Tom ate his breakfast and went into the yard to whitewash the fence. Painstakingly, he finished a bit of it. That's when his friend Joe came up to him.
Hey, Tom. Why are you working on a Saturday morning? Working? Who said anything about working? Well, why are you painting the fence then? I am doing it because it is art. Haven't you heard of art, Joe? Well, I have, but I have never done it. Is it fun? Oh, yes, it is. Why else would I do it?
Joe thought about it. It was true. Tom Sawyer would never do anything that wasn't fun. He asked Tom if he could also try it. Tom agreed to let Joe do only a small portion of it in exchange of 3 marbles. Joe thought 3 marbles was too much, but agreed. He wanted to try art. A little while later, their friend Jim came. He saw Tom resting under the tree and Joe painting the fence. He went to Joe.
What are you doing, Joe?
It is art. I paid Tom 3 marbles to let me do it.
3 marbles?
Is it that good? Yes, very good. Jim dashed to Tom immediately and asked if in exchange of his fish book, he too could whitewash the fence. Tom feigned some reluctance, but agreed. And so it went on. Other friends of Tom came and believed that painting the fence was fun. They paid Tom in collector's cards, candies, and even a catapult to get a chance to paint the fence. By noon, the entire fence was painted and Tom was a rich boy. He hid his treasures and went to his aunt.
It's done.
What?
Unbelievable. Let me see.
Aunt Polly took Tom with her to see the fence. Indeed, it was done. And it was done very nicely. How did he do it? Anyway, his punishment is over. Now I will have to let him go. I hope he does not create more mischief. But as always, when Aunt Polly turned around to tell Tom that his punishment was over, he was already gone. The next day was Sunday, and Tom went to Sunday school. When he reached there, he saw a new girl and was smitten by her. He desperately wanted to impress her. He thought of a way he could prove himself better than the other boys. He went to one of the smartest boys in the class. And bought from him all his yellow tickets in exchange of the treasure he had earned from his friends yesterday. The yellow tickets were awarded only to those boys who had learned all the verses of the Bible. Usually, only older boys were able to get the yellow tickets. When you had enough yellow tickets, you could exchange them for a Bible. The minister asked the class,
Does anyone have enough yellow tickets for a Bible?
Nobody had so many tickets, except Tom, who raised his hand. Everybody, including the minister, was surprised. Tom was the most naughty boy they knew. How could he have learned all the verses of the Bible? The minister understood this was one of Tom's tricks, and he decided to test him.
Very well done, Tom. Please come here and collect your Bible.
Also, as is tradition, when you earn your Bible, you get to recite any 3 of your favorite verses from it. Tom was stumped. 3 verses? He didn't even know one. He fumbled. The whole class laughed at him as they understood that mischievous Tom had got into a big soup this time. Do you still think you will never get caught?
Oh no, Tia. I have to go and tell my friends the truth and apologize to them right away. It was Miss Pine's last day at school today. Yes, I'm going to miss her too. She was very nice. Yes, and she gave all of us from class little souvenirs to remember her by.
Really? Wow! What did you get?
That's the thing. She gave everyone toys or fancy stationery. All she gave me was this empty diary.
So, what's wrong with it?
What will I do with a diary? All the kids were showing me their lovely gifts, and I felt so bad.
I think you need to know about the miller's son who got a cat from the miller. upon a time, there lived a miller who had 3 sons. When the miller was dying, he left his mill to his eldest son, his donkey to his second son, and for the youngest son, he left his pet cat. The 2 elder brothers could use the mill and the donkey for trade and earning money. But the cat had no use for them. So they kicked the youngest brother and his cat out of their home. One day, when the 3rd son was sitting with his cat, the cat said to him,
Master, don't worry. Everything will be fine.
"How will that be?"
Can you get me a pair of shoes and a bag?
"I have very little money left, but I have never seen a talking cat before, so I trust you." And so the master bought the cat, the boots, and the bag. The cat happily took it and went into the nearby forest. There, he found a rabbit hole. He put the bag to the mouth of the hole. As soon as the rabbit came out, he got caught in the bag. The cat quickly tied its mouth and took it to the master.
Master, I have brought you a rabbit for dinner. Let me cook it for you.
The cat quickly cooked delicious dinner for his master. Once they were done, he went back to the rabbit hole. There, he caught one more rabbit. He took this rabbit to the king's palace.
Your Majesty, my Lord Marquis of Caraba has sent you a gift.
Thank you, Puss, and thank the Marquis for me. The cat continued to do this for many days. One day, it heard about a nasty ogre that everyone was scared of. The cat went to meet him.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I just came to see why everyone is scared of you. I don't see any reason.
Don't you know who I am? I can kill you right now.
I don't think so. You don't really have the power.
I have the power to take any shape I want. I can become a lion and strike you.
Ha ha! I am not scared of lions. I am only scared of rabbits.
Well, here it goes then.
As soon as the ogre turned himself into a rabbit, the cat pounced on him and killed him. The next day, he requested his master,
Master, please go and bathe in the lake outside the forest. I request you.
The master agreed. As he was taking a bath, the cat stole the master's clothes and hid them. Then he ran to the highway and waited for any carriage to pass. As soon as he saw the king's carriage pass, he called out,
Help! Your Majesty, my master is in the lake, but someone stole his clothes. I don't want him to catch a cold. Please help.
The king recognized the cat who had been bringing his master's gifts to him every day and stopped immediately. He sent his man to retrieve some clothes from the castle and took them to the master. They gave the clothes to the third son, who looked very handsome in them.
Ride with my daughter and me, Marquis of Caraba. We will take you to your place of stay. Thank you, my lord.
The cat sat in front with the driver, while his master sat with the king and his daughter in the back. He showed the driver the way to the ogre's castle and told him to take them there. Once they had reached, the cat got down and opened the door of the carriage.
We are home, master.
Yes, dear Puss. Thank you.
The king was impressed by the third son's humility and manners. He decided to get his daughter married to him. The young couple happily agreed, and they lived happily ever after.
So the cat that everybody thought was of no use was extremely useful and changed everything for the third son.
Exactly, Tofu.
I am going to keep this diary close to me always and use it to write great stories.
I am happy for you. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.